Courage and Honour. Welcome to Tom's Warhammer Minis. In today's video, I'll be showcasing how to paint the new version of this awesome promotional model in the contrast painting style, but with a very unique twist. Hailing from the third chapter of the Ultramarines, Captain Centos is an incredible updated miniature to lead the 40k poster boys on the tabletop. Now, I'm often personally told contrast paints cannot do armour panels, space marines or vehicles. Of course, they don't actually know they're talking to the one man who's painted the first ever Reaver Titan, and I mean the Forge World Reaver Titan in contrast paints only, which you can see on my Instagram. This guide will show you how to do contrast painting on armour panels in a very neat way. But that's not the unique thing in this tutorial. Now, one of the common things I hear from people within the Warhammer community is painting Ultramarines gives people PTSD. And I'm going to say it now, it does not. As a PTSD and complex PTSD survivor myself, it's not bad nostalgia. That's not what gets you. And that's what certain people assume. What I will agree, though, is highlighting Space Marine armour to look really good is often tedious. It is extremely time-consuming. Of course, if you get it to look good, it's highly rewarding. But what if there was a way to make a perfect Ultramarine without doing highlights? Well, in this video, there are 0 armour highlights. It's the only tutorial of its kind, and I'm going to show you how to do it in what takes hobbyists endless hours, even endless days. I'm going to show you what can be done in just a couple of hours. So grab your brushes, praise the Emperor, get those paints, and let's get hobbying. My Captain Centos model has been primed in White Scar. I want a real bright, vivid blue ultramarine finish. First colour that I've taken and used is Black Templar. And I've applied this colour all over the soft seals, as well as the cables. Take your time, look around the model, there are some hidden beneath the cape. Once it's completely dry, I want to shade that black a little bit further. And I've taken Nuln Oil and I've applied this all over. Simply, this allows the recesses to be dark black, while providing a nice thin subtle highlight that's very noticeable. Using contrast paints on Ultramarines is a slightly tricky process. It absolutely can be done. It's not the traditional Macragge blue method though. We're going to start very light and work our way up to the darker classic Ultramarine colour that we all know. The colour that I've used to begin with is Assaman Blue, and I've thinned this down ever so slightly. So 4 parts Assaman Blue to roughly 1 part Lahmian Medium. I've not overloaded my brush. I took each section bit by bit, making sure it doesn't pull heavily on the flat areas. And as you can see, the Lahmian Medium will help with the flow, and you'll end up with a very flat but very bright finish. Next up, we're taking our blue to the next stage. And I've used Talosar Blue here in a 2-to-1 mix. So 2 parts Talosar Blue to 1 part Lahmian Medium, and exactly like before, I've shaded the entire armour in this colour. This will really start to settle into the recesses, darkening them, but also pushing that colour towards the classic Ultramarine colour. I've also used this colour to paint in the banner. Now I am aware there's going to be a red stripe in the middle. At this stage it is easy just to paint it all blue, and we'll use classic red paints later to colour in that section. Next up, I've created a 1-to-1 mix of Ultramarines Blue and Lahmian Medium. And as you can see, I've applied it over most of the model, but I've left the foot here because I'm going to demonstrate what I'm actually doing. Essentially, I've painted this over all of the flat areas, but I've not painted the edges. So I'm taking my time, section by section, and what this is going to do is leave us with an ultra thin, super crisp highlight, which means you're not going to highlight a single piece of the armour. So just to demonstrate, I'm going to take a bit of paint. You don't want too much on your brush. I'm using what you would call a thin layer brush. Just for instance on this foot. Apply it very slowly, very neatly, avoiding all those edges. Like that. It will take a long time. It's not going to take as long as highlighting would. and it will leave us with a super crisp highlight. And here we are. That's the Ultramarines blue mixed with Lamia medium in a 1-to-1 ratio mix, and the Lamia medium is really going to help the flow. It's quite a strong colour, and it really helps to tint over the blues that we've done previously. And avoiding those edges means we're going to save a lot of time later. You could absolutely highlight more, make it really pop, but for those who don't really do the highlighting, this is going to make your model look incredible. I've also applied this mix over the flag. Now, I haven't particularly been neat there. We don't need to. It's really the armour panels that I wanted to focus on here. Now we can move on to the next stage. Next up, we're focusing on all the red details. I've base coated these in bar red. For the shoulder pad trim, there were a couple of mistakes where I caught the blue on. I just relayered them in white before doing this process. Take your time, try and be as neat as possible. Next up, I'm taking Blood Angels red, and I'm applying it in the exact same way that I did with the Ultramarines blue. Purely, it is Blood Angels red. I have added a tiny drop of Lamia medium just to help the flow. There's no real ratio here. And I applied it, avoiding all the edges over all the red details. Again, taking your time, it will really pay off. Next up, we're focusing on 3 unique base coats. For the yellow of the gauntlet, a simple colour of Imperial Fist will really achieve that look. For all the leather details, so the belt as well as the holsters, I've used Gore Grunter fur. It's a nice warm rich brown. And for the bolt guns harness, I've used Black Templar. I'm going to be keeping with the theme of not highlighting. For this point, I've taken Black Legion, and I've applied this over the bolt weapons harness. Exactly like before, avoiding all of the edges. I've also applied the Black Legion as hazard markings. Roughly being neat, I've created 4 diagonal points. Once that Black Legion was completely dry, I want that yellow to be a bit grungier, a bit dirtier. So I've taken Nazdrag yellow, and I've created a 1-to-1 mix of this and Lamia medium, and I've applied it all over. Again, you can avoid the outer line edges for a natural yellow highlight. Sticking with that theme, I've taken Cygor brown, and again created a roughly 1-to-1 mix with Lamia medium, and I've applied this over the Gore Grunter fur details, leaving those outer edges nice and bright with the original colour. Using that previous Cygor brown mix, I noticed that the base has a lot of soil, and it's the perfect matching colour, and while I had it, it just made sense to paint it there and then. But the next colour that I'm using is Skeleton Horde, and I've mixed this with Lamia medium to create a 1-to-1 ratio. And I've applied this over all the inside of the cloak, the purity seals, the icons, as well as Centos' hair. Take your time, don't let it pool, just let it collect neatly into the recesses, and you'll have a beautiful light brown colour. I'm at that stage where I'm applying different details all over while I wait for certain things to dry. For the face, I've base coated it to begin with in the layer of Reichland flesh shade, in its purest form, letting it pull into the recesses but not pulling heavily to obscure any details. I've taken Bacilla Carnum Grey next, and I've created a 1-to-1 mix with this and Lamia medium, and I've applied this over all the rocks. Don't worry about the bolt shells on the base, we're going to be painting them in metallics later. For the purity seals, I've painted the insides with Sigvald Burgundy, because that's where the darkest areas will be. I've left the outsides because I'm going to be doing that in a different colour later. And finally, on the cape, because I'm going to be shifting that red to a real bright, rich red later, I've done edge highlighting with Fire Dragon Bright. But while I've had this paint to hand, I've applied spot highlights over all the other red details. So for the casing of the bolt gun, as well as the shoulder pads, just simple spot highlights on the sharpest corners and edges where light hits the most. Continuing with our base coats, I've applied another layer of Reichland flesh shade over his face. Really starts to settle into the recesses and creates that human skin tone. I've also used the same Bacilla Carnum Grey mix, and like I've done before, avoiding the edges, I've done a second layer over all the base rocks. Next up, I've taken Volupus Pink, and on the purity seals, the outer edges that I left before, I've painted this there, giving that natural thin highlight against the Sigvald Burgundy. And finally, for the last of our contrast paints, although technically not a contrast paint, I've taken Angon Red Clear. This is an air paint, it's very glossy, it can be very thick despite its liquid nature. I've applied an even layer all over the cape. Be careful not to let it pull too heavily, it will thicken and spoil the details, and also don't apply too much over the orange highlights. It still needs it there, but you don't want to ruin what we've done. What it leaves us with is a rich, vibrant cape, and while it is glossy, it gives it that natural shine, showing a different texture from the other red details. Next up, it's time to fill in that red part of the banner, that special pattern design that is only on Centos' model. The colour I've used here is Mephiston Red. It is a base coat, it's got enough pigmentation. I've applied 2 thin coats. Essentially what I've done, I took one part at the top, did a dot, did the same in the other corner, and drew a straight line across. It's the easiest way, and then fill in the middle. Now it's time to move on to the metallics. So for all the bolt shell casings, as well as in the ammo box, I've painted them with Castellax Bronze. I found 2 thin coats here to be perfect. Just because it's a layer paint, you really want that metallic shine. Next up, for all the gold details, I've gone down the classic route that you know of Ultramarines, and that's Retributor armour. Being very careful on the cloak, not to catch it on any of the red details. And finally, for all the silver details, while they are bright on the box art, I want a really bright vivid highlight at the end. So I've gone for dark silver, and Iron Warriors is the perfect colour for this. Finally, for our metallic details, we're going to do a bit of shading. First off, I've taken Nuln Oil, and quite logically I've applied this over all of the silver details, but also the Castellax Bronze in the recesses of the bolt shells. I've also applied the Nuln Oil on the red part of the banner, just gives it a natural bit of darkened shade. And finally, I've taken Reikland Flesh Shade, and quite appropriately I've applied this over all of the gold details, but not the flat areas on the cloak. They're so small, so flat, we don't want to spoil them, we want that natural shine. And with that, our model is officially battle ready, although technically with the way that I've showcased it, it's far beyond that stage. It's time to move on to a few highlights. Now there aren't many highlights to do, especially if we followed the way that I've base coated and got this model to battle ready. It's practically done. But the highlights that I'm going to mention, just to really make the rest of the model pop in line with the armour, are as follows. I've taken a small amount of Phalanx Yellow, and that's just to really touch up the yellow and give it that fine edge highlight. For all of our skeleton horde details, I've used Pallid Witch Flesh. I've also used this to dot the eyes. Following on from the Pallid Witch Flesh, I've taken Abaddon Black, and again that's to provide a smaller dot to create the pupils of the eyes, but also to write in the words Ultra. And while it's not on the box art of this model, the original one had it on the gun. I've also done it on his leg plate. The easiest way to get this done is to start right in the middle. Being a 5-letter word, it's perfectly balanced. Start with a T, move to the L, move to the R, and then you know where the space is for the U and for the A. For the face, I've just done small spot highlights and tiny scratches on the most prominent edges with Flayed One Flesh. For the red part of the banner, I've used Evil Sun Scarlet. For the blue parts of the banner, I've used Lothern Blue. And finally, for the wrap of the bolt gun, I've used Dawnstone. Using a small layer brush that's been quite old and quite beaten up, I've really turned it into a mini dry brush. I've used Pallid Witch Flesh just over the Cygor brown base, just to give it a bit of highlight. Next up, it's the metallic details. I've taken Liberator Gold and very carefully highlighted all of the gold details. For all of our silver details, I've gone with Ironbreaker, but I've also used this to pick out the 2 gems, one on the front and one on the gauntlet, because we're going to paint those with a contrast colour next. And finally, for all the bolt shell cases, I've highlighted them with Sycorax bronze. I'm on to the final part of painting, and we're focusing on the gems. For the gem on the front, in that cross, I've used Blood Angel's Red, just a small amount. For the one on the gauntlet, I've applied a small amount of Eldari Emerald. Now I've waited for both of those gems to dry, and then I've applied a small amount of gloss varnish. I've used the Art Coat one from Games Workshop. This will really help them to have that real gem shine. But I've also used this to apply it onto several surfaces. So you see the front of the banner, the shoulder pads, and the knee pads. And this is to prepare them for some transfers. And the transfers I'm going to be using are Ultramarine ones. I don't own the basic ones for 40k, but I've got some from Forge World, which are the Ultramarine Horus Heresy set, which is available from the Games Workshop website. Space Marine transfers are notorious, Ultramarine ones even more so. They're quite big, and quite often they won't fit on top of a shoulder pad due to the curvedness of the model. You can buy products to help soften them, to make them bend better, and then they will stick to the surface more flatly. Alternatively, like I want to prove, you don't need to buy all these products to make it work. Here I've simply cut the transfer in half, applied it on, and then I'll apply the second half afterwards. The beauty of the water is you can move them about until they match together neatly. Take your time, it's not a rush game. My transfers are in place, and it's time to seal them on just so that they don't fall off. Now, normally you can use Lamia Medium here, but as I used Art Coat, the gloss varnish, the area is very smooth and very shiny, and I want to dull it down as well as sealing. So I'm going down the classic route of using Storm Shield, Games Workshop's very own matte varnish. Apply an even layer all over and wait till it all fully dries. And all I've got left to do now is to paint the rim of the base, and I'm going with my classic Abaddon black. I'll apply 2 coats all over, and then the model will be done. And that's Captain Centos all done. I'm a big fan of the Ultramarines, and this updated version is a fantastic sculpt, and it's really enjoyable to paint too. I could push the highlighting of the armour further. Of course, what that would actually mean is I've got to do some highlighting for real, and I don't want to do that. Because contrast painting is in the reverse of normal traditional painting, you're going from light to dark. It means we can cheat, and those early blue colours create the foundation of what is the natural highlight colour. The Ultramarines blue that I used is just shifting that blue tone to the default colour scheme, and avoiding all those edges is just a cheeky time-saving way. Personally, I have done it before. It needs a steady hand, but I've never actually seen it showcased by any other hobbyists. So hopefully this tutorial will go viral, and it will inspire a new and even easier, even less time-consuming way of painting Ultramarines, and Space Marines in general too. Just remember, small brush. Create those foundation colours. Don't overload the brush, and make sure you've got that magic ingredient, Lamia Medium. And in this case, you'll end up with Guilliman's Finest. Now, if this video has done its job and it's proved helpful and it's inspired, then please give that all-important like, subscribe and share. Helping my channel to grow means I can make more and more content for the Warhammer community. But until the next time, look after yourselves and happy hobbying.